Did you know that nearly 91% of adults over 65 in the US struggle with poor sleep quality, often without realizing the small daily mistakes that cause it? Sleep isn't just about rest, it's your body's way of repairing itself, balancing hormones, protecting memory, and strengthening your immune system. Yet, many older adults unknowingly sabotage their own. Hello everyone, my name is Matthew Miller. Welcome to Matthew Miller TV, the channel where we explore practical, science-backed ways to live longer, healthier, and happier lives. If you care about your health and well-being, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you'll never miss valuable insights designed to help you and your loved ones. I'll walk you through 5 common sleep mistakes that most older adults make. And more importantly, I'll show you simple, science-backed solutions you can start applying tonight. So stay with me until the end because just 1 or 2 small changes could completely transform the way you sleep. To understand what's really harming your sleep, let's break it down step by step. We'll start with the very first mistake most people overlook. Mistake number 1. Drinking caffeine too late in the day. Margaret, a 70-year-old grandmother in Florida, loves her daily routines. Every morning she enjoys a strong cup of coffee with breakfast, and every evening she settles into her recliner with a mug of green tea while watching the news. To her it feels like a small pleasure she's earned after a long day. It's just tea, she tells her daughter, better than coffee at night. But almost every evening, Margaret tosses and turns in bed, staring at the ceiling, wondering why falling asleep feels so impossible. What Margaret doesn't realize is that even mild drinks like green tea or a square of dark chocolate after dinner can pack enough caffeine to interfere with sleep. For adults over 65, this problem becomes even more significant. The older we get, the slower our bodies metabolize caffeine. What used to clear out of your system in 4 or 5 hours when you were younger can now linger for 8 hours or more. That means a cup of tea or coffee in the afternoon can still be active in your bloodstream when you crawl into bed at 10 p.m. And it's not just coffee or tea. Caffeine hides in unexpected places. Sodas, chocolate, energy bars, even some over-the-counter pain relievers. Many older adults cut out the obvious sources but forget these hidden ones. The result? They unknowingly sabotage their sleep night after night. Science backs this up. A study from the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine found that consuming caffeine as early as 6 hours before bedtime reduced total sleep time by more than an hour. For younger adults, losing an hour of sleep is inconvenient. For older adults, who already get lighter and more fragmented sleep, it can be devastating. Less sleep means less time in deep, restorative stages, the phases that help repair cells, balance hormones, strengthen memory, and recharge the immune system. The consequences add up quickly. When sleep is shallow or broken, you don't just feel tired. You may feel foggy, your reflexes slow, and your balance weakens. That raises the risk of falls, one of the most dangerous health threats for seniors. Poor sleep also drives up blood pressure, stresses the heart, and throws off blood sugar regulation. In the long term, chronic poor sleep increases the risk of heart disease, diabetes, depression, and even dementia. Something as small as that innocent cup of tea in the evening could be silently undermining health in ways Margaret never imagined. But here's the good news. This mistake is one of the easiest to fix. The solution isn't to give up your comforting ritual but to time it differently and swap in smarter choices. Start by setting a caffeine cutoff, ideally no later than 2 or 3 p.m. if you usually go to bed at 10. This gives your body enough time to process most of the caffeine before you're ready to sleep. Next, pay attention to hidden sources. Check labels on soft drinks, flavored waters, chocolate snacks, and even medication. You may be surprised at how much caffeine sneaks into your daily routine without you realizing it. Keeping a simple log for a week can help you notice patterns. Finally, replace the evening habit with a calming alternative. Herbal teas like chamomile, peppermint, or rooibos are naturally caffeine-free and associated with relaxation. A warm glass of milk, rich in tryptophan, can help your body produce melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep. Even decaf coffee can work, though it still contains a small trace of caffeine, so save it for earlier in the day if you're especially sensitive. Pairing these drinks with a soothing nighttime routine, dimming the lights, turning off screens, listening to gentle music can train your brain to associate those actions with winding down. Over time, this simple shift can dramatically improve both how quickly you fall asleep and how deeply you rest. It's worth remembering that caffeine itself isn't the enemy. In fact, moderate caffeine earlier in the day can boost alertness, mood, and even protect the brain. But after 65, the body handles it differently. What felt harmless in your 40s may now be the hidden reason your nights are restless. So here's the key takeaway. Protecting your sleep quality starts with protecting your evenings from caffeine. Move your last cup earlier in the day, be mindful of hidden sources, and build new rituals that calm your body instead of stimulating it. This small, intentional change could mean the difference between nights of frustration and nights of deep, restorative sleep. And for Margaret, when she finally swapped her green tea for chamomile in the evenings, within a week she noticed herself falling asleep faster and waking up more refreshed. She didn't give up her ritual, she simply transformed it, and that's the power of one small shift. Mistake number 2. Using electronics before bed every night around 10:30. Robert, a 72-year-old retiree in California, climbs into bed with his tablet. What starts as a quick plan to check the news or scroll through photos from his grandchildren often turns into an hour of browsing headlines, playing a few online games, or watching late-night videos. By the time he finally puts the device down, it's nearly midnight, and even then, his mind feels wired, not relaxed. He lies awake staring at the ceiling, frustrated that sleep never comes as easily as it used to. Robert's story is one many older adults share. For decades, bedtime meant reading a book, writing in a journal, or simply turning off the lights. But now, with smartphones, tablets, and TVs within arm's reach, evening routines have shifted. These devices may feel comforting or even necessary, especially for staying connected, but they are quietly wreaking havoc on sleep quality. The problem isn't just mental stimulation, it's biological. Electronic screens emit blue light, a wavelength that powerfully suppresses melatonin, the hormone that tells your body it's time to sleep. Younger adults can sometimes recover more quickly from this suppression, but after 65, when natural melatonin production is already lower, blue light exposure can be devastating. Imagine trying to fall asleep with your brain being told it's still daytime. That's essentially what happens when you're re-scrolling at night. Research confirms the impact. A Harvard Medical School study found that using electronic devices before bed not only delayed sleep onset but also reduced REM sleep, the stage critical for memory and mood regulation. Participants who used screens late at night felt less alert in the morning, even if they got the same number of hours in bed. For older adults, who already face age-related sleep challenges, this disruption can mean the difference between a night of true rest and one of restless tossing. The consequences go beyond grogginess. Poor sleep from late-night electronics raises the risk of cognitive decline, weakens the immune system, and increases the likelihood of depression. And since many older adults already struggle with conditions like hypertension or diabetes, adding sleep deprivation only worsens these problems. In fact, a study in Sleep Health Journal showed that older adults with high screen use at night had higher risks of insomnia, fragmented sleep, and daytime fatigue compared to those who limited their exposure. So why do so many seniors fall into this trap? The reasons are simple: loneliness, habit. The mistake number 3, irregular sleep schedule. Linda, a 69-year-old retired nurse in Texas, likes to joke that retirement finally freed her from the tyranny of alarm clocks. Some nights she stays up until midnight watching old movies. Other nights she falls asleep in her recliner at 8 p.m. Weekend visits from her grandchildren often mean late pizza nights and laughter until well past her usual bedtime. At first she enjoys the flexibility. After all, isn't that the reward of retirement? But over time, Linda notices a problem. Some mornings she wakes up energized, while other mornings she feels sluggish and foggy, as if she barely slept at all. Her sleep has become unpredictable, and so has her energy. What Linda is experiencing is a consequence of an irregular sleep schedule. Many older adults assume that as long as they eventually get 7 or 8 hours in bed, the timing doesn't matter. But the truth is, when you go to bed and wake up is just as important as how long you sleep. Our bodies run on an internal 24-hour clock, called the circadian rhythm, which regulates when we feel alert and when we feel sleepy. When that rhythm gets disrupted by shifting bedtimes or irregular wake-up hours, it throws the entire system out of sync. For seniors, this problem is magnified. Aging naturally weakens the circadian rhythm, making it more fragile and easier to disrupt. That's why older adults often notice they fall asleep earlier in the evening and wake up earlier in the morning. But when you constantly shift your sleep window, going to bed at 9 or one night and midnight, the next your brain and body never settle into a consistent rhythm. The result? Lighter, more fragmented sleep that leaves you feeling unrefreshed, even if you spend plenty of hours in bed. Science supports this. A study published in Sleep found that irregular sleep patterns were linked to increased risks of obesity, hypertension, and diabetes independent of total sleep duration. Another Harvard study reported that people with inconsistent bedtimes had poorer cardiovascular health and lower cognitive performance compared to those who maintained regular schedules. For older adults who are already vulnerable to these conditions, the cost of irregular sleep is even higher, and the consequences are not just physical. Poorly timed sleep affects memory and mood. Have you ever noticed how, after a late night, you feel irritable or forgetful the next day? That's your brain struggling to recalibrate. Over time, irregular sleep can worsen symptoms of anxiety and depression, conditions that already affect me. Mistake number 4. Lack of physical activity during the day. Charles, a 74-year-old retiree in Arizona, often spends his mornings reading the newspaper at the kitchen table and his afternoons watching TV or doing crossword puzzles in his recliner. He rarely leaves the house except for errands, and although he sometimes tells himself he'll take a walk after dinner, it usually doesn't happen. By bedtime, Charles feels sluggish, yet oddly restless. He complains to his doctor, "I'm exhausted all day, but when I finally lie down, I just can't sleep." What Charles doesn't realize is that his sedentary lifestyle is a major reason for his restless nights. Many older adults assume that sleep is only about what happens in the bedroom: darkness, quiet, and a comfortable mattress. But the truth is, sleep quality is largely built during the day. Physical activity plays a crucial role in setting your body a sleep drive, the natural pressure that builds the longer you stay awake and active. When your body doesn't get enough movement, that drive never fully kicks in, leaving you wired at night and groggy in the morning. Research strongly supports this connection. A study in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found that seniors who engaged in at least 30 minutes of moderate exercise most days reported significantly better sleep quality, longer sleep duration, and less daytime fatigue than their sedentary peers. Another study by the National Sleep Foundation revealed that older adults who were physically active were 55% more likely to report good sleep compared to those who remained inactive. Why does this happen? Movement impacts sleep in several ways. First, it helps regulate circadian rhythms by exposing you to natural light when you're outside. Second, physical activity reduces stress hormones like cortisol, making it easier for the body to relax at night. Third, exercise increases body temperature slightly, and as your body cools down afterward, it triggers drowsiness and helps you fall asleep more quickly. Finally, staying active reduces aches, stiffness, and discomfort that often keeps seniors tossing and turning in bed. On the flip side, inactivity creates a vicious cycle. The less you move, the less energy you burn. The less energy you burn, the harder it is to feel physically tired. That leads to shallow sleep, which then makes you even less motivated to be active the next day. Over time, this cycle can lead to weight gain, weaker muscles, poor balance, and an increased risk of chronic illnesses like heart disease and diabetes, all of which further disrupt sleep. So why do so many older adults become inactive? For some, it's fear of injury or falling. For others, it's joint pain, arthritis, or simply the loss. Mistake number 5. Ignoring your sleep environment. Martha, a 72-year-old grandmother from Florida, often complains to her daughter, "I don't know why I can't sleep. I go to bed at 10, but I toss and turn until after midnight." When her daughter visits, the reason becomes obvious. Martha's bedroom is cluttered with stacks of magazines. The TV is left on in the background. A small nightlight glows by the bathroom door, and the air conditioner hums loudly while the ceiling fan creaks above. For Martha, these things feel normal, even comforting, but for her sleep, they're a recipe for disaster. One of the most overlooked mistakes older adults make is neglecting the sleep environment itself. Many seniors assume sleep struggles are entirely about age, health conditions, or habits. While those matter, research consistently shows that the physical environment of your bedroom, the light, noise, temperature, and comfort level can make or break sleep quality. Think of your bedroom as a signal to your brain. When it's dark, quiet, and cool, your brain produces melatonin, the hormone that tells your body it's time to sleep. But when the environment is full of distractions like lights, electronics, noise, or even an uncomfortable mattress, your brain stays on high alert. The result? Shallow sleep, frequent waking, and morning fatigue. Let's break down why this mistake is so common. Noise sensitivity increases with age. Even mild background noise, like traffic or a TV playing in another room, can disrupt sleep cycles more easily in older adults. Light interferes with melatonin, Many seniors use nightlights for safety, but even dim light can suppress melatonin and confuse your circadian rhythm. Temperature regulation changes. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at controlling core body temperature. A room that's too warm or too cold can lead to restless nights. Old mattresses and pillows, a lumpy bed or flat pillow can cause back, hip and neck pain, which makes it harder to fall and stay asleep. The consequences of ignoring these factors are bigger than most people think. Poor sleep environment has been linked to reduced deep sleep, this stage when memory consolidates and the body repairs itself, higher nighttime cortisol levels, and increased risk of falls due to grogginess and fatigue. In fact, a Harvard Medical School report highlighted that optimizing the sleep environment can improve sleep efficiency by up to 30% in older adults, a change just as powerful as some medications, but without the side effects. So what's the solution? Fortunately, this is one of the easiest mistakes to fix because it's all about adjusting your surroundings. Here are practical, science-backed changes you can make tonight. Control the light. Use blackout curtains or an eye mask to block outside light. If you need a nightlight for safety, choose a dim red-toned light instead of blue or white, which interfere more with melatonin. Reduce noise. Turn off the TV and silence your phone. If outside noise is unavoidable, use a white noise machine or even a simple fan to mask disruptive sounds. Earplugs are another option. Set the right temperature. The ideal bedroom temperature for sleep is between Y-67 degrees Fahrenheit, P-19 degrees Celsius. Experiment with breathable bedding like cotton or bamboo to stay cool, or use layered blankets for easy adjustment. Upgrade comfort. Replace mattresses older than 8 to 10 years. A medium firm mattress often works best for spinal support. Choose pillows that match your sleep position. Side sleepers need thicker pillows, while back sleepers do best with medium support. Declutter the space. A messy room signals busy to your brain instead of rest. Clear out clutter and make your bedroom a calm, peaceful space dedicated to sleep. Let's go back to Martha. After a conversation with a doctor, she made a few small changes. She replaced her old mattress with a supportive one, added blackout curtains, and turned off the TV before bed. Instead of leaving on a nightlight, she installed a dim motion sensor light in the hallway for safety. Within just a couple of weeks, she noticed she was falling asleep faster, waking up less often, and feeling more refreshed in the morning. The truth is, your bedroom isn't just a room, it's your body's sleep sanctuary. And when you treat it that way, you send powerful signals to your brain and body that it's safe to relax, recover, and restore energy for the next day. The takeaway: don't underestimate your sleep environment. You could be doing everything else, right? Limiting caffeine, setting a routine, even staying active during the day, but if your bedroom is working against you, you'll never get the deep, restorative sleep you need. The best part is, transforming your environment doesn't take years or even months. Just a few adjustments can completely reshape your nights and, by extension, your days. So, tonight, take a fresh look at your bedroom. Ask yourself, is it dark enough, quiet enough, cool enough? You know, after walking through these 5 mistakes, I hope you see that poor sleep after 65 isn't just getting older. Most of the time, it's the little things: an evening cup of tea, scrolling on the phone, skipping that daily walk, or even sleeping in a room that's too noisy or too warm. The good news is you don't have to change everything at once. Start small. Pick just one habit from today's video and try adjusting it tonight. You might be surprised at how quickly your sleep and your day start to feel better. If this video helped you, it would mean a lot if you click the like button. And I'd really love to hear from you in the comments what's the one sleep mistake you've been guilty of, and what change are you willing to make. Your story could inspire someone else. And of course, don't forget to subscribe so we can keep learning together about healthy, happy living after 60. Thanks for spending this time with me. I'm wishing you peaceful nights and brighter mornings. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.